This very quick example is actually a review. I taught this to 7th graders last year. We're looking at the relationship that is formed between angles that are formed when there are just two lines that intersect. And the relationship that we're looking at is called the relationship between vertical angles. And it's a very, very simple one. So what we see is that when two lines intersect, if we see that there is a smaller angle and a bigger angle, this is acute and this is obtuse, and together they are supplementary because they add to 180 degrees. But we have some other angle relationships also, and here they are. So this acute angle, call it G, is congruent. That is, G has the exact same measure as another angle here. And which one is it? Well, we know it's not this one because we can clearly see that this angle is acute and this angle is obtuse, so they have different measures. Likewise, we would say that angle G is supplementary with this angle because they also add to 180 degrees. And again, G is acute, the other angle is obtuse, so they are not congruent. So we're thinking, well, which of these angles is G congruent to? And it is the angle that is directly across the intersection from G. So we could call this H, and we would say that G and H are vertical angles, and that G is congruent to H. Now, if we look at the obtuse angles, we should see the same kind of relationship. So if we call this angle O, then we would say that angle O is congruent to angle, we would call this P. That O and P are vertical angles, G and H are vertical angles, and even though we named all of them as vertical angles, we would not say that G and O are vertical. They are not, because vertical angles are congruent. G and O are not congruent. One of them is smaller, it is acute. One of them is larger, it is obtuse. And they are not vertical, they are supplementary. That is, they add to 180 degrees. So the vertical angles, which are congruent, are the angles that are formed directly across the intersection. Great job, Smarty Pants!